Slightly Redneck again, making a video on canning tomatoes. If you watched my video on the basics of canning, if you need to watch that, because I'm not going to cover a lot of that in this video. I'm going to cover a specific recipe for canning tomatoes, and I'm not going to talk in depth about a lot of the techniques. I've got other videos that I'll link to that you can watch if you need to know how to core and peel a tomato, or just the basics of canning. If this looks familiar, it's because I'm trying to film it at the same time I did my basics of canning video, so I'm doing two videos at once. It may be a little bit tricky to keep straight in the editing, but I'm going to give it a shot. You're going to need all the equipment that I talked about in my basics of canning video. Jars, lids, canner, jar lifter, all that stuff. So you can watch that video and get all that stuff down. You're going to need tomatoes, of course, and I've got, I don't know, quite a few tomatoes that I picked out of the garden. You're going to need to peel them and core them. Let's see where I missed a peel. If you don't know how to peel and core a tomato, then check my video on how to peel and core a tomato at this link. Okay, so once you got, let's talk about tomatoes for a minute first. You need to use a good paste type of tomato. Aroma, these are Amish paste, San Marzano, something along that lines. You don't want one that's super juicy, so you want a specific paste type of tomato to can. Get your tomatoes all ready. You're going to want to fill a pot with water. This is just water. Get that hot, because I'm going to pour that over the tomatoes once I get them in the jar. So let me get set up here, and I'll show you how to pack tomatoes in a canning jar. Okay, so next step with canning your tomatoes is to, you can add a couple tablespoons of lemon juice. You can do it now or you can do it at the end, but this recipe calls for 2 tablespoons of lemon juice per quart jar. Add that to your jar, pack it with tomatoes, and what I'm going to do is just drop them in. And I do find that tomatoes shrink up quite a bit when they're cooked, so I kind of, I'll put some in there and then I'll kind of smash them down a little bit, because they're going to do that on their own anyway whenever they go through the water bath canner. It's one reason I like wide mouth jars, is I can get my hands inside of them a little bit easier. I can't get my hands inside of a narrow mouth, regular mouth jar very easy. I'm not crushing them, I'm just kind of flattening them out a little bit. And that's probably about as many as I can get. One more maybe. Okay. Alright, the rest of it is just pretty standard canning. You're going to just fill it with water, put the lids on the jars with the rings, and put them in your hot water bath canner for 40 minutes. You need to bring it to a boil for 40 minutes. Let it set in the canner once you brought the heat down for 5 minutes. Remove it to a cool place and let it cool and seal for 24 hours. If any of the jars don't seal, standard stuff, just use it within a month. Put it in your fridge and use it within a month and it's fine. One thing I will say about tomatoes is, just like any other fruit you're canning, you do need to remove air bubbles, and they seem to hold quite a few of them. So make sure that you do a good job of removing air bubbles. And that's it. I got several jars of tomatoes to can here, so good luck, and thanks for watching, and as always, God bless.